So,
Um, we're an informal board. We're lumping these people with new business, so we'll put that in. No? Okay. So public input, you guys are all together, right? Okay. Public input, do you guys want to come on up?
they can come over here, Aaron. This mic is on right here. Somebody's hand here.
Sorry about that.
Who's holding your seat?
You're starting?
Yeah. Andrea Porter, 2674 St. Paul Boulevard, representing Color Rent-A-Quote Green. And just wanted to begin, we're a combination, and I'm starting it. Want to thank you for participating in the Eco Fair. Tried to thank you in August, but I don't think you had a meeting. I think it
Yeah,
was
we did.
canceled. You did?
We didn't have,
Was that
it was
last month?
canceled in June and July.
Yeah, but we were here last month. Okay. We did try to thank you earlier. So we appreciated that you were there, and we know that people came and had shared they had a good time building.
It looked like a good
birdhouses with you.
turnout.
So thank you, Jack. Did you make quite a few?
19.
Okay, great. Also wanted to share at this point how nice it's been. Scott has been wonderful. We've been working with the Arundequoit Cemetery, trying to fill the berms. We have berms filled with herbs, 3 of them, and now we've started filling them with native plants that you've helped us purchase for it, working with Don Mocker, and we're making progress. We think it looks good. We hope you take a peek at it. For us, it feels good to be getting natives, pollinator plants out in public areas. We've also been working with, is it Miss Sarah, one of the librarians, who we put in a sensory garden with her off the children's area. And then we started a native path that we'll continue to build on. Again, trying to get natives in public areas. So we're hoping that along the way that we can work with you on different projects to continue that within the community. And that's where I pass it on to.
Nora Walter, 279 Simpson Road, 14617. What I have here, and I'll give you all a copy, is Brighton's Pollinator Pathway Challenge. And it gives very good information with on a website from the Town of Brighton Conservation Board and Color Brighton Green about how to add more natives to your own yard and what to do, where to find plants and things like that. We would like to adapt this. They said we can use whatever we want from it. The only change that I would make is I have an additional site that I think is very important about the difference between native plants and cultivars or nativars of native plants. Because if you go to a big garden center, what they say is a native is probably not really a native, it's cultivated. But we would love to have you all look at this and see if we can adapt it together. We would make our own sign on page 3. There's a Brighton Pollinator Pathway sign. And then if we can get this going and on the town website. Another thing we would like to do is have people register with us. We're not going to go and check out what they have in their gardens, but just say, yes, they've done this. They've got a lot of native plants. And then if we can have a map that by neighborhood shows how many houses in that neighborhood. I live in NOLA, you live in
Rogers.
Rogers, you know,
Sure.
and does East Arundecoit also have neighborhoods like that?
Yeah, the whole town does.
Okay, then, you know, by neighborhood, we could say there are X number of homes that have pollinator pathway plants in them, and see if we can get more people interested. And we, of course, in Color Arundecoit Green, would continue to give information when we're at the public hour market and, you know, wherever we're asked to present. So,
And we do seem to be getting more and more people showing interest in it when they come to, when we're at the market or when we've been at the Healthy Yards markets, and they'll ask to get connected with the Arundecoit. We'll start having hybrid meetings, which will, again, open it up to more people attending our meetings. And some of the other towns also have the combination of the Conservation Board and their Color Your Community Green group working together to have the pollinator paths. So that's our first hope as we move forward on this.
and the website is at the bottom of the page, so you can actually go to it yourself and look at it there.
Any questions or thoughts?
Not at public input.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, we'll discuss it later on in the meeting probably, once we get through some of the other stuff.
Okay.
But, yeah, we'll look at it and,
And we do have permission from them to use whatever we want from them.
okay, cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I would like to thank you and Kimberly and everyone that's been involved in the cemetery. It's come a long way already. It looks
Yeah.
great. I can't wait to see it blossom. So it's
I know,
a really cool project.
by
and
the spring, it should already look so much better than it even looks
Yeah.
now with the new plants. Thank you for creating such great plans for us.
And I think there might be an opportunity maybe in the backyard here when that develops slowly. I know there's gonna be a rain garden and maybe we can do like a butterfly garden and then have like an informational plaque. Cause there's gonna be a lot of people going to the market back there.
Right.
And I think it'd be cool to have those gardens, the rain garden and the butterfly garden and stuff with information. This is why we need it, this is what they do, and so.
Thank you for that, because that's the difference between, I know there's going to be an Arundecoit garden walk. We're working with our Healthy Yards from all the towns because we want it to be learning. You know,
Yeah.
we want us to understand why we're doing it and be more of a team and
Definitely.
build around that. So thank you for that. That's huge.
I'll
I
keep
want
you
to thank
posted.
you too. I drive by there twice a day at least, and it is looking great from Hoffman Road.
Thanks.
It's gorgeous.
Yay. Good.
Thank you.
good, thanks. Okay, so minutes, I took them last month, I can't find them. I will try to figure that out and get that back for next month. So that is going to be tabled for this month. Okay, so on to our new business. So Kurt, you gotta bring your group up and give us your spiel.
So I apologize, I wasn't here before. But, I'm Kurt Charlin with Colliers Engineering and Design. We're the civil engineers on behalf of Providence Housing LLC for the PHDC Rondecoit Apartment Project. Not sure how much information you like to hear. I know this project has come before the board prior to me being here this time. Some things have been addressed. I know we've relocated some buildings, positioned them on the site. We've provided Labella performed a tree survey out there. The plans that we submitted show our impacts. We're saving all the trees, of course, that they recommended, plus, I don't know, I think 193 others. Anything outside the LOD is basically going to stay there. And the development's been reworked so that we're not impacting any of those areas. And then certainly we're enhancing the rest of the site with more landscaping as well, and buffer areas and that type of thing. We have some nice colored renderings from SWBR's landscape team, which we can show you as well.
Yeah, I think that's usually helpful. Like,
I don't know if you like the engineering aspect of the project. I mean,
well, we're all different. There will be technical and non-technical questions.
Yeah,
This area, the site was reworked, some parking was changed as well. so that we're not impacting some of those larger trees. We're keeping some of the existing vegetation, all of the existing vegetation kind of along the residential property line as well. We, maintain that fire access connection over to the adjacent development. Again, more existing vegetation. Our stormwater facilities are located up in the corner, which is, the lowest point of discharge for the project site as well. And then we're providing, landscaping throughout our bioretention areas, open spaces, things like that throughout the project site as well. I assume are you all familiar with the project itself? I mean, I could explain a little bit more about the project. I don't know.
Katie, you've never heard the project before, so yeah, I give a cursory overview because we do have a new
Sure,
member.
sure. So this is the existing Quicklies, adjacent to Culver Road. There's an entrance drive in here. We're going to be sharing that entrance drive into the facility, so that'll be the main access point to the site. Parking in between the buildings. This is a 3-story, 72-unit building, and then there are 4 2-story unit buildings as well. So there's parking associated with those. We have bioretention areas associated in front of those. There's a playground area, a bus stop that we've also located on the site. We have fire accesses that I think were recommended as well, placed in the site now. We have a couple of dumpster locations, one adjacent to the smaller unit buildings, one adjacent to the larger unit buildings. Fire lane, this is the fire lane access that I mentioned. It's going to be like green pavers, so that's also going to be greenscape, hardscape, not like asphalt paving. So it'll be, be able to support the emergency access vehicles, but not be like super obtrusive pavement that's not going to be used, all the time. And then our stormwater facilities will be up here, our main detention facilities, and those are not retention, they're detention facilities. So typically, they're going to be all grass and seeded, and there's going to be some plantings around them and whatnot.
Is the fire lane permeable at all, or?
It would be, yeah, it would be permeable pavers.
Jack, just a
Like
reminder, we need to use the microphone
Yeah.
when we're asking the questions. Sorry.
So yes, it is. Yep.
Do we have a grading map of this thing?
Well, we supplied grading to the site. I did not bring a grading plan for the project.
Is there an issue with spoils management for this project?
No, so this site will primarily be due to stormwater and the ability to be able to drain it around. There's going to be a decent amount of fill on the project site, so we're going to be bringing the site up.
Bringing it up?
Yeah, up anywhere from 3 to 4 feet in some locations. Yeah, so it's going to be raised up, so there's not going to be a lot. The only cut will kind of be the organic matter, and I believe there are some areas that have some poor soils that might have to be removed, so those might be exported.
Yeah, there had been dumping on this site in the past. Is that an issue?
Well, again, there's some areas where there are some soils that may or may not be contaminated that might need to be removed or hauled to a special site, depending on how the foundations lie.
Who establishes what the status of the dirt is?
The environmental team's working with DEC, so we're still waiting for some feedback from DEC on some of those areas.
Is there a plan that shows the trees and the proposed work on the same plan?
L401, I think, is the tree planting plan?
Yeah.
We've got smaller versions of that.
Yeah, I mean, the site plan, it depends on which trees you're talking about.
The retained and cut
Oh, never
versus.
mind, sorry.
Yeah, so-
I was thinking of the new trees.
Okay, yeah, no, retained versus, and
Yeah, so C080, which is our demolition plan, it's kind of an existing conditions. I have some smaller, they're a little bit tough to see, admittedly so, but if you have larger ones,
I don't have Cs. You got Cs?
yeah, so they would be a lot clearer on these larger set of plans.
I'm like, I went straight from A to L.
I could probably, yeah, thank you. I could probably get this
So
one,
the ones that are being removed are darker?
first one.
Correct, yep. Yeah, you'll see that what we've tried to do is, I know,
Here, Krista.
so Labella's survey identified all the trees that were 4 inches in diameter caliper or larger. The ones that they wanted to save were good quality. They were oak and sugar maple that were more substantial, I think anywhere from 24 to probably 30-plus inches. I also identified, when I looked at the plan and the survey they had, there are quite a few more oaks and maples that are outside our area impact that certainly we would want to save. I mean, they're good quality trees. There's probably some in there that are not favorable. There's some black locust and, there's some scrubby ash trees and things like that that we're still going to maintain because we don't want to go in and disturb the soil if we don't need to. But there's definitely more than just the 9 they identified that are, I consider high-quality trees. They're maples and oaks, so as long as they're established well, we might as well try to save them as best we can.
Would there be any plan to manage the remaining forest? Is that part of your maintenance plan?
Management in terms of,
Keeping it trimmed and nice?
well, certainly I would imagine, there would be intent around the perimeter where it's very visual. I don't know if going into the actual forested piece would be like to do any kind of tree trimming.
Harken back to when Rochester General bought Buell Woods, and
Yeah.
they promised to take care of it and make it nice.
Mhm.
They didn't.
Yeah.
Box elder, what do we feel about box elder? That's the biggest one I've seen.
Yeah, they're pretty fast growing and kind of.
You said you're planting trees?
Norway maple.
Yeah, there'll be additional new plantings as well.
These are the ones highlighted out here.
Is that on the list of what they're planting?
I don't have the planting.
That would be.
The plantings on this, over here. We gotta divide it.
It's on the, Scott, in the packet there.
That one.
Do you want to,
Yeah,
Yeah,
packet
that's WBR drawings. Yep,
will be
yep.
the,
Brittany, do you want to highlight a few of the tree types that you're going to plant?
Yeah, definitely. So knowing that there were maples, I'm gonna come over to the.
Yeah, come on.
Yes, yeah, go to a microphone.
Hello. I'm Brittany Murphy. I'm the landscape architect on the project. So I'm in charge of all the new plantings. So yeah, knowing that there were oaks and maples on the site already, and those are really high valuable wildlife species, that's what I was focusing on for the areas on the boundaries of the site and sort of around the existing plantings or the existing vegetation as well. In the bioretention areas, we're also using some river birch. It is a cultivar, but it's a sort of well-behaved river birch. It's going to look nice in that bioretention area in front of folks' homes. And we're also putting in some green hawthorns and some downy serviceberries, the amelanchiers, in addition to red maples and red oaks. So that's where I was focusing on for trees. In front of the townhomes and the apartments, I was also trying to focus on native shrubs and perennials as much as possible. There's some sort of mainstay horticultural plants that aren't natives. The hydrangeas and the nepidas are the only two non-natives, but those are really sort of workhorse, bulletproof garden plants that are going to hold up for a long time and reduce maintenance for the apartment complex and for the townhome. So those are the only non-natives. But other than that, I like to focus on natives as well. So, and I didn't talk about the pine trees. So there are also evergreen trees, Fraser firs, Black Hill spruce, which is, I noticed some of those are also on the plan. I think there's some black spruce, and eastern white pine. So again, focusing on where we can, native or nativars, cultivars of natives to be as close as possible.
Catmint is in?
Yeah, nepeta, the catmint, yeah.
Okay,
That's a Eurasian species.
that's not the weed catmint?
I don't believe so, no, it's a mounding species.
Okay,
Yeah.
no? That's why I'm trying to think the one that's a weed in my yard, that's some sort of mint.
A lot of,
Like
mint,
it, that's taking
mint
over.
generally is, yeah,
Not catmint?
yeah.
Okay.
It's the big purple.
The purple one?
Once
Okay.
you notice them, you'll see them everywhere. They're a really common
That's what
garden
I'm like,
plant.
my
yeah.
plant ID is pretty poor, so I'm like, I know a little bit.
People always think it's lavender until they smell it.
Exactly, and you're like, minty lavender? Exactly.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay. What's that, the other one?
Are there other stormwater management features other than the detention pond and rain gardens? Is there anything underground storage or anything like that?
There is no underground storage. There is some bioretention areas. Adjacent to all pavement areas, I mean, that's doing our water quality and runoff reduction volume that we require for DEC. So that main area kind of adjacent to the playground, there's some bioretention in there. The rain gardens are the primary treatment for, like roof laterals and things like that off the buildings, before it goes over, to the detention basin. And I believe there's a bioretention area adjacent to the detention as well,
Yeah.
to capture that sheet flow of that parking lot.
They'll also have to meet the SWIP requirements on
Absolutely.
the site.
Oh, yeah,
Stormwater, yeah.
which is what we've done. Yep.
And then I think we talked briefly last time, so the detention areas overflowing to the ditch to DOT, like, well,
Right.
the 104 corridor, there's a ditch there or something,
Correct,
right?
yep, yeah, right.
And they're okay with that?
Well, I mean, DOT is gonna have to review everything, but, we're reducing the flow to the ditch.
Okay.
So we're not increasing any kind of runoff, and we're not discharging a pipe into the ditch. We're just, we have an overflow out of our detention facility to that area.
Okay. All right.
Overall, we're decreasing stormwater runoff off the site, so they should be okay with that.
Okay, so we have 4-bay, we got this, we're going here, and they're going here, this is gonna go here. This is going out, okay.
What are the EPOD encumbrances on this, just the woodlot?
And the steep slope, but that's the steep slope that's not really a steep slope, it's the poor mapping steep slope. So technically, like this northern half by 104 is flagged as steep slope, but it's not really. And so we're really kind of focusing on just the woodlot.
Is there a sheet that shows the EPODs?
Yeah, the C100 drawing does have the EPOD limit, like, highlighted on there. Actually, I forgot I brought it. So it has a demo plan on the back of it. Here, it's this, so this is the EPOD line I'm trying to figure out. It starts here, so it serpentines through the site. And of course, it exits over there.
And that's the nominal woodlot.
Correct.
And the incorrect steep slope, where did that
I'm
supposedly?
not sure where that overlay.
Where's that
It
pink?
sounds like it's up along the top. I'm not sure we had that mapped on the.
I have one.
I think because we decided to ignore it.
One box eliminated the steep slope.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Steep slope? Woodlot?
Woodlot.
Woodlot.
Steep slope, yeah.
There's no steep slope in there. This is where
Yeah, I didn't.
our GIS shows it, but it's not really,
Okay,
it's probably, how do I
There's
say,
definitely no
before,
steep slopes in there.
In the 80s when they mapped it.
and they
then-
mapped it.
And then before all the fill, then no longer steep slope.
that's a way to get rid of a steep slope.
Fill it in.
Fill it in, it's fine. Okay. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Okay. And then,
So much paper.
So many papers. We couldn't even lift the box you guys dropped off.
okay, site plan,
We aim to please.
Yes.
seeker, okay, so you do that, that's fine. Yes.
So our task here is to determine whether we're okay with the woodlot designation and their treatment of it.
Yeah, so this would be our standard where we're gonna write the letter of recommendation, to the planning board. So whatever concerns or critiques that we have,
Previous letter only indicated that we wanted a tree inventory, right?
yes, and that's what Michelle and I were trying to look, if we actually wrote a letter or if we just went to the workshop and told them that and we weren't,
It could be, I was at the meeting.
were you the one who went? That's what we're trying to figure out.
We requested it.
So,
But they had been ahead, they had heard ahead of time and had already agreed that they would do it.
yes, because they came to talk with us before they went to the planning board.
Okay.
And it's the same scenario right now. They have not been to the planning board yet for a workshop.
All right.
The banked parking that's in the bioretention area, is that just in the future, if you need it, you're gonna create it?
Yeah, so for code required parking, there's 200, you need 208 spaces on the site. We're currently proposing 166 spaces to be constructed as part of the project, and then we show another 43 that could be built if they needed to be, which would be a net 209, so we would exceed the code required. So, we recognize either the planning board's going to have to grant that, or we're gonna have to go through a variance process to obtain a variance for reduced parking, unless they're allowed to grant that, so.
And those are
How-
grassed lawn areas shown on the plan. They're not actually in the bioretention.
Okay.
They're not like down the slopes or in a wet area. They're currently like, or they would be flat lawn, and then if need be.
Right.
So does,
Get a bioretention
Or if need be, they would be parking if,
part of it. Right now, you're for current green space.
yes.
Right,
Yes.
and we've added enough, enough fluff in our stormwater calculations so that if that comes into play, we have volume. We aren't
Right.
looking for a place to put stormwater, so we've sized it appropriately to encompass that future development. Again, it's just, the need isn't there right now, so why build it if we don't have to, is kind of the plan.
So are you, what are you gonna build first?
What do you mean?
Are you building everything on this?
Everything would be built, yep. This is not a phased construction, minus the bank parking.
Yes, okay.
Everything, right, everything's intended to be phase one, right?
If I may, Rob Kane, CSD Housing Development Consultant. So one of the comments we received at the planning board workshop meeting was that they wanted to see less asphalt, and so they asked us to entertain bank parking. We went to Providence's portfolio and evaluated the need for full code required parking, and we came back with what's currently proposed. So I think going into the planning board meeting, workshop meeting next Monday, the 16th, and then the following meeting on the 30th, we'll show them what we said we were going to do. So just give you a little context there. And again, with the bank parking space, it's just passive recreation, grass space. In the event that the demand does meet the needs for code of parking, then we would come back in and then pave it, create more parking there.
What is the stormwater detention area pond or?
It is a pond. It's not a wet pond, so it's not designed to hold water, right. It's only gonna hold water under a storm event, so typically gonna drain down in 24 hours or whatever. We did some infiltration testing out here. There is variable infiltration. We were gonna go 100% that way, but some of the tests would perform partially and then not, so we wanted to be conservative, not bank on it and have failure down the road. So we feel pretty confident that there's gonna be some infiltration going on, so we're gonna see that pond drop a lot faster than even through our normal stormwater discharge and structure, so.
That variability due to the dumping, you think?
Well, there could be some fill materials that are inconsistent in different layers. So maybe the water works around it, or the water works through it, or it only takes a certain saturation rate, things like that.
Yeah.
But we wanted to be more conservative than to build something that we banked on infiltration based on a couple of tests, and then we have failure, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so with the, has waste, are you gonna have to cap anything, or is that
I don't think anything's
really-
gonna have to be capped. I think just like, for foundation, excavation, things like that, that material will have to be hauled to an
Okay.
approved site, yeah.
Okay.
I don't believe there's any kind of vapor intrusion. It's just gonna be normal stuff, out there. There's no, that I'm aware of right
Okay.
now. Of course, we are still waiting for feedback from DEC, but it doesn't look that way.
It's still pending DEC review, but it's a brownfield program accepted redevelopment area. And so we're entertaining whether it's a track 4 or a track 2. We just need a little bit more feedback from the DEC based on the soil samplings that we've submitted to them. So in either case, both of those tracks require SMP, a site management plan, will then be ongoing monitoring. But currently, we're not seeing too much, groundwater, toxicity. I'm not a chemist, but so we're currently looking at it's mostly just old asphalt, just landfill material, just a lot of unsuitable soil for building weight. So whatever is underneath the building foundations, as Kurt was saying, will be cut down, removed, and hauled off to a DEC approved site.
Okay.
So does the town have any record of what the dumping was? Is it all C and D, or is there bio in there?
Yeah, you want to sit down?
The DEC did not have registered dumping there, unfortunately, so our data is has gaps and holes in it. It was originally rejected from the Brownfield Cleanup Program because of the lack of data and the lack of historical, knowledge that we could gather from the landfills. So unfortunately, we ended up having to spend a lot more to kind of continue the evaluation. We submitted more data to the DEC, and it just passed threshold, and the chemistry part of me is not my strong suit, so I can't comment on that per se. But it just had several exceedances to allow it into the program. But it's mostly, from our understanding, the old highway kind of construction, deconstruction projects that were all dumped and filled there.
Thank you.
So the north side says there's an 8-foot gravel trail.
Yeah,
I don't
so
remember
that's something that was in there it's RG&E's access.
Okay. I was
Yeah.
gonna say, I don't remember there being a trail out there.
Yeah, I think it was a gravel access road they put in to access the facilities for the adjacent development initially.
Okay.
Bless you.
Yeah, so.
So that looks like you're maintaining it
Well, yeah, I
for
would
their
think so. There's an
access.
easement on it, so
Yeah.
I can't imagine they're gonna love if we fill over top of it and
Yeah.
get rid of it.
Yeah, okay.
Especially since I think that's where in fact, we were kind of coordinating with them today, where the services are all gonna come from. I think they're gonna come from up there,
Okay,
so we're gonna have transformers and stuff located. So I think they need the access there.
okay. All right, let me go back and look.
Is your main access going to be on Fuller Road?
Yes.
Alright, so you're coming back. These are fine. Okay. Okay. And this was going to the ditch, so we already talked about that.
Were there any valuable trees in there that they're saving in the construction area from that map?
Yeah, so the list,
There are a couple down here that were saved.
But nothing in the main area. So
no.
are there trees that are gonna have to be protected during construction?
I don't think so. I mean, certainly around the perimeter. I
Right.
mean, we are grading up to a certain area, so those would need to be protected to be saved. But none of the ones that were identified, I think, are within our construction area. They're far enough outside the limits, the LOD, so we don't have to worry about direct impact to them.
Yeah, because that's what I say, on one of the plans, it called out for a handful to be protected.
Right, yeah, I
In
mean,
this
we're certainly
section?
gonna protect the, drip lines of the trees and stuff. I mean, that's just, because, again, you might get into construction and I don't know, maybe some of them we show to be
Yeah.
saved are not the greatest of quality and we decide maybe those should go. I don't know when they get into construction. It's hard to say. I think we're over a year probably or so.
Are these
So,
staying or going?
so that
Old
might
is
need to be
going.
evaluated a bit,
Old
but
is
I don't
going.
think any of them that are designated as
staying.
pretty
But,
high quality
yeah.
are within,
But these-
within the reach of that. We've been really conservative to try to save every tree we could there, so.
What's your hopeful timeline on this thing?
Just trying to hide behind Kurt's good looks here. So, so I think it's to be determined, really. It really depends on how long it takes to go through the planning board process. Best case scenario, you're looking at, maybe end of '26, start of '27. It's a long, long road ahead, But I guess to answer your question about preserving trees, they'll be all marked pre-construction, pre-closing. Make sure that the contractors don't disturb the root balls, the drip lines, any of the trees that should be preserved in the tree survey. As we go through that, I'm sure there'll be some sort of permitting process to review with an inspector.
Frequently, we've asked the planning board to ask for construction fence around the limits of disturbance. Is that something that?
Yeah, it's exactly. They'll have the SWIP fence, the silt kind of fencing there, so that you don't have any kind of runoff going off-site
Yeah,
or into the
because-
trees as well.
People sometimes get enthusiastic on a big machine.
I get pretty angry, those enthusiastic people. But no, in all seriousness, they have to stay within their designated boundary, and it's pretty well inspected by bank inspectors, our funders, the town. So we'll make sure that those lines do not move during construction. They'll be heavily kind of observed and monitored throughout the process.
These are the significant trees here. And the retaining wall, I'm assuming, is to keep the grade around the trees?
Correct.
Not to add
Correct.
retaining wall there to incorporate existing grade, hopefully.
This has nothing to do with our mission here, but why does the site require raising up? Is that
Stormwater.
stormwater
More or
alone?
less, yeah. You have to get the site to drain to the lowest point, so we have to bring the site up enough to be able to drain it from one side to the other.
Northeast.
Northeast of that corner where the stormwater ponds are? Yeah. That'll be the ultimate discharge, right? Right. Yeah, I mean, that's the way the drainage pattern goes today, so we're maintaining that. Only decreasing the amount of runoff that technically goes there today, based on drainage counts.
When do you go to planning board next?
16th is the workshop meeting, and then the 30th is the full board meeting.
Our normal procedure is to discuss this and then write a letter to the planning board, so. That's what we'll do.
That's great. Sounds fantastic.
Yeah. Does anybody else have any other specific questions or concerns or anything? I don't see anything major as like a concern. But we did just get these. We didn't have them in advance, so we'll probably take a. When did you say you were going to the planning board?
16th is the
16th.
workshop.
2
so-
weeks,
2 weeks.
approximately.
Yeah. So we'll review and get our thoughts together and have a letter there, but I don't
Yeah,
I don't
that'll
see
be there for
anything
the
that's
workshop.
ridiculous, or show-stopping by any means.
Will we have the opportunity to see that letter before the workshop? In
Yeah,
case we
you-
need to, I mean, sounds like maybe we're not, but I mean, yeah,
No, you will. You always do.
just so we have an opportunity to
Hopefully.
address if need be.
Like, we're gonna say hopefully.
Well, no,
Yeah.
we're pretty prompt on,
Correct. And they'll send me the letter.
just like always.
They'll go over it via email with the board. Once they've all agreed, they'll send it to me. I'll put it on letterhead, and then I'll send it on over.
Great. There is a utility plan in there. There's actually two, I think, C-110 and C-111. Because we're extending the water and gas is coming off Culver, so there's a little bit of a viewport shift there, so we got a second page for that. And then we have a separate drainage plan as well, because it's a very busy system. So there's a storm plan that shows just the storm sewer system. The utility plan will have the gas, water, electric, and sanitary. Yeah, the drainage is on a separate plan. And then for grading, we also did some blow-ups around some of the buildings because, again, pretty intensive with spots with sidewalks and things like that, so that helps with that.
Apologize that we would have done that
Oh, that's all right.
before, so I'll get with Michelle and if there's drinking concerns, I'll make sure you know about.
I have this stormwater plan upstairs too, and engineer's report.
If you really want to fall asleep.
Some of us like to read those for fun.
I took a 5-hour class about foils. That's tiring.
But there's some sugar on the table right there, so
Yeah.
load up before you go.
There's a lot of sugar. Okay.
Great. All right.
right,
Well,
great.
we'd be
Thanks.
happy to answer anything. I mean, if you have any other questions, in the meantime, just let us know.
All right, thank you.
You
Thank you very
bet.
much for your time.
Good to see you, Chris.
Thank you.
Nice to see you too.
Who's scheduled for the workshop?
I thought you said you were going.
I can.
I don't, you're supposed to send me that too, but I don't have that.
did.
You did? Yeah,
What month is this?
yeah.
September?
Yep.
Noel.
It is me.
Well, Jack, if you'd like to go, I feel like you have a bit more knowledge, if I'm being honest.
I'll go. You
I'll
can
still
come
go.
too.
Yeah, I'll still go.
Did you have PDFs of this stuff?
Thanks.
Good night.
But I would like to go through the PDFs and look at it in a little more detail. The list gave the trees that they wanted to recommend. It sounds like they're saving all of them. And we had originally told them, like, we wouldn't hold them to like the 1-to-1 if they could keep the major ones. But we should probably see what the other ones are that they're keeping and how much they're planting, and if we want to push back to say that we want more planted back or not, but it seems like there's, yeah.
But yeah, she wants to look over that tree and tell her this one's horrible. Is it something?
Yeah, it looks like, but not that bad, and then, right, like, they do need space, so like, there's
Yeah,
only so much you can do. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stormwater retention, there's a lot of protection around, I mean,
Be on that front sheet.
did it say?
9.245.
2 times a week. Yeah. The only thing, and it's not really part of our purview, but the last time, like, was all of these neighbors complaining about losing, so we asked for, well, we recommended they have more buffering. It had nothing from a conservation perspective, but that, you know, to appease some of these people. So, I don't know, I guess they could, if they needed to, but I don't, like, from our perspective, I don't think they technically need to.
Yeah, it shows here that they've got evergreen privacy screening located all around there, so
Yeah,
that
because
was in response to
to that,
our comments.
Pretty sure they just dropped this off a couple weeks ago. And I just haven't had a chance to.
So what do we want to say that we feel they made a reasonable effort to accommodate the woodlot restriction along with their added plants or?
I think that's probably what it's gonna be, but I do wanna spend a little bit more time just looking and counting and seeing what the deal is with that. But, yeah, and I do wanna kinda look through some of their stormwater numbers just to make sure, but I mean, there's a lot of stormwater here, so. That seems reasonable.
So maybe I don't have it I don't have it electronically. Do you?
No.
I didn't send it.
I haven't seen it.
No, it's brand new. Well, it's not brand new. I mean, they were here. And now they're coming back again with the tree
Revisions.
survey, the revisions from the planning board workshop meeting.
Yeah, we saw the original stuff,
And then-
not this stuff.
So August 20th
Yeah,
was my last,
and the first one was just kind of like a concept plan. This is the one this is the actual,
so.
so yeah, can you request them, and send
The
PDFs?
application will be added to September 16 workshop meeting and September 30th planning board. The application will also be discussed regarding E-pods at the September 4th conservation board. Okay. Here it is. Nope. I was looking for attachments and they sent, one of those,
A link because it's
Those
10,000 things.
cause it's 100 pages. And maybe I did. There it is. 8/23. I did upload it.
Did more than you thought.
Nope, this is from, oh,
For this three-story building, does that require a variance, or is this zoned in such a way that they can do that without height
I
variance?
don't know, how high was it?
how high?
No, there's 3 stories, and we only,
I think you can get like 35 feet or something like that without having to do
We're
a
in the
variance?
R5 district.
Oh, I don't know anything about those
it
things.
is R5.
R5. So, let's see, lot and bulk requirements. 30 feet. Maximum height of buildings or structures shall be 30 feet. Per the zoning code. If anything more, then they would require an area variance.
Looks like this is 32 feet, 6.5 inches.
So variance would be required for that. Those are over.
They really screwed that one up.
Have a flat roof, you could make it.
That's it, no, you know what, that's 32, 6.5 before the piece. So you're looking at 37, maybe?
Yeah.
38?
Yeah, but they're gonna block the view to 104, so.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
Who's gonna complain?
Yeah, I mean, like, fine, make it taller.
The neighbors might like that.
yeah, cut down on the noise.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay. So,
It looks pretty.
all right, anything else regarding that for now? No? Okay. Next, moving on to our unfinished business. Tree Town USA. Anything going on?
Got the application reminder today, so the applications are open in December, beginning of December for recognition this year. We should be getting another growth award. Ordered 60 trees to be planted by the contractor and another 75 in-house for fall planting with our end of October.
How many were contractor?
60 contractors, 75 in-house.
I'm sorry, what was that for? Tree?
Fall planting. 25 in-house, 60 contractor. Application due, should be getting growth award.
Yeah, there's Rob. The last couple of years, we've been putting, like a chicken wire protective screen around the trunks because no matter where we plant them, deer just crush them. Really? So one of them was putting on a show, yeah.
Are you guys targeting specific neighborhoods or just kind of blanketing?
Yes, I would say about half are gonna be CDBG areas, so low income.
Was this CDBG money or this is, okay,
It's a grant.
yeah,
Isn't it grant?
yeah.
Are you still taking applications for tree plantings, or are you kind of just like
We're always taking
always
them.
taking them? Perfect.
Yeah. I almost have enough applications for the trees that we order. But if somebody wants a tree and submits an application, I'll bump a replacement out and put that on the back burner.
That's a good
Because
idea.
I'd rather have people that want the tree.
Yeah, if they
get
ask for it.
rather than replace the one that we just took down.
Yeah. Do you get responses when we put it up on Facebook? Does that seem like? Well,
Not
they wouldn't
really.
respond to you, they would just go, they would, because we just tell them to the link,
Yeah,
right?
we'll just put the info out
Yeah,
there, but
we definitely get an influx when
Yeah.
posted.
Okay.
When the Eagle Fair happened, I think we had like 4 or 5 that night come in, and then a couple the next week. I'm not projecting.
I don't know.
No, we're in a stark difference scenario as far as street tree requests. When I first came here, it was back going to the hundreds. So, good job, Scott.
Thank you.
Cool. Good, good, good.
And we're taking down significantly less. I don't know if it's the pruning cycle that we did last year, or we're catching up, or what it is, but the last 2 years, 2 years ago we took down 200, last year we took down 260, as of this year we're only at 80,
Wow.
so
Oh, that's great. Great.
we might be getting a handle on it, but I don't know what the variable is, I haven't quite learned that yet. But it can only be good.
Hopefully. All right. Farmers market. You went?
Yep, August 8th, the county solid waste people came out, and they gave out a lot of information, although it seemed like it was a little slower than last year as far as the public interest in their issues. There were people that stopped by and said, oh, can I recycle this, can I recycle that? So they had, displays on what can and can't be recycled. They had displays on the eco park, what can be taken there. They gave out quite a bit of information, and they were happy being here.
Okay.
But I'm not sure that it was, like I said, quite as busy as last year.
So they were going around to different ones each week, or each day that week, right?
Yeah, I guess
Did
it
she
was
say-
farmers market week or month or something, and they went to a bunch of them.
Did she say how we compared to other ones they've been to?
Again, I think last year, we were probably one of the more active ones, and this year, maybe not quite as much.
How was the weather?
It was fine. It was threatening rain, but it never did.
Was it like 1,000,000 degrees outside?
No,
No?
it wasn't too bad. And I put out a little sign trying to
Recruit members?
get people to join up, but nobody,
Nobody wanted to go after the
Nobody
hand
stopped
marker
it.
sign?
so I even had, I got some of the pamphlets from Michelle to handouts. I think I handed out 2 or 3 of them to people, so who knows, maybe somebody will. Have you seen these, by the way? There you go. I've handed out 4.
There you go. So you think the most, like, the common questions were what was recyclable, what's recyclable?
What's recyclable, what can I do with X,
Okay.
so, I mean, there was a lot of information about what you can take to the eco park. I mean, a lot of people didn't realize that even existed, I think.
Yeah. No, well, I think maybe, I think they have a lot of that info already online, but that might be a couple of things that we could look at sharing over the next couple of weeks or whatever, like.
It's a tough subject because stuff that is recyclable can look like things that they don't want.
Well, and I remember when she came and gave that spiel, whatever, like 2 years ago, when they were like, we're not doing the numbers thing. And I'm like, well, that's news, because I feel like everybody else does the numbers. And
Well,
so you
I
just
mean-
kind of like, oh, we're doing this number, and that's my thing. And
Well, I mean, they do numbers in that there are certain kinds of plastics that are recyclable. But I mean, I think she made the point that the plastics industry put numbers on everything.
yeah,
And maybe 1 or 2 of them are
Yeah,
probably
like it doesn't
recyclable, and
mean
the
the
rest
same.
are just trash.
and everybody was like, it's got a number, it means it's good, it's got the
I
recycle
mean, the thing that everybody's always disappointed in is like the things you
The
get.
takeaway container? That's the one I'm always kind of, she
Oh,
told, like
yes.
like the,
Like you get salad in and
Yes,
stuff, the
that one.
plastic things, yeah, it's trash.
I was like, I thought that was fine. Like, okay.
So, yeah, and they've tried to emphasize that rather than the number, it's the shape of things that make the
Yeah,
difference.
that's
as
the
far as
thing
what's
that-
recycled.
Yeah,
So strange. Wegmans, if you go there, they say all our plastic cups that you get at the store there are recyclable, but the town doesn't, or the county doesn't want that. There's so many mixed messages.
yeah.
It's a tough gig.
Yeah,
Yeah. I did like she made the one thing that she said that kind of stuck with me. She was like, if you wouldn't put it in your dishwasher, then it's not recyclable. And I was like, oh. Like that. And I was like, yeah, those salad things do not go well through a dishwasher. So that kind of, I was like, that made sense. I can use that. But yeah, so there's probably,
So how do you determine that if you don't have a dishwasher?
it's those super flexible thin ones. That you're just like, this is gonna melt. If I put some hot tea on it, it's done.
yeah, one thing that everybody asks about too, when they said, I mean, Wegmans takes, like what they always handed out as plastic bags in the past, but any similar packaging to that.
Yes.
And she uses like, well, if you can press your finger into it just like you can one of those plastic bags, that can go in the same stuff at Wegmans
Yes.
with all their plastic bags.
Yes, except they don't take, I wanna say it's like the vegetable bag. There's a point where they're like, this isn't, and I'm like,
Well,
I don't know what
if
that
it's
point
got-
is, but I just give them
If
everything,
it's got
but,
stuff in it, I guess
like,
they,
you can figure it out.
and it's gotta be clean, but.
Yeah, that's what I'm like, you can figure it out, I'll give it to you. But, okay.
See Danny sorting of plastic.
So I think that is the end of our farmer's market activity for the year, unless somebody's got like a great idea that they wanna go in the next couple weeks.
We had said something about E-pods, but we hadn't figured out
Haven't
how
really
to do
pulled
that.
anything together, because we can't think of anything to show that's interesting for it. Yeah, I don't know how to address that one. But, I don't know. So, Facebook,
We have
got,
930 likes and 964 follows. There are a couple events this September to post about International Day of Clean Air. I plan to mention the farmers market since we're in the last month of it. The last day is October
Sorry.
10th. So
What was it?
which one?
National,
oh, perfect. So I'll mention that instead. Okay, cool. Move to the show.
what is it?
In October, the farmer's market is moving to the winter location, but will remain weekly.
Perfect.
don't
And
you
I'm sorry,
guys-
where's the winter location?
It's the one, it's the shed.
That way, right?
I was wondering, what was out there?
Yeah,
Okay.
on Kings Island.
And don't you guys have a shred and recycling event coming up?
Oh.
September 14th.
Is that on the Arundecoit
It's
website?
on the website. September 14th, we are hosting a electronics recycling alongside.
Cool.
It might be, I'm risking it.
I feel,
Well, if you can't handle it, send them to the eco parks.
Right.
and I feel like they've already posted that, so you can probably just find it on the town and share it.
And the last thing I'll mention is I have set us up an Instagram. You mentioned a few emails ago that that needs approval.
Yeah, the town needs to do it, so,
Oh.
because it's their account.
Okay.
So we technically have permissions, but like it's their account, and I don't know who that is.
Sammy,
Okay.
Is that who's downstairs today? Did you
they're
say
the
that?
managing the, Sammy and Justine.
So I don't know how to reach out to them and see if that's okay or not or whatever. I mean, last time, like when this came up before, it was a no because the town didn't have one, so they didn't want to do it.
Okay.
But I have no idea. And honestly, I don't know anything about Instagram, so I don't know
No,
if it's a
well,
good idea or not.
I know, and it took me long enough to do it too because I'm not wanting to be on my phone all like that. But it connects to Facebook, so we wouldn't really have to do anything. It's just whatever is posted on Facebook can simultaneously go on the Instagram, and I think we get a lot more people. We can mention things like we need new members and
Yeah.
Eco Park, the farmers market, tree applications, all that jazz would get more people. So I think that
So send them you know who they are,
Sammy and
Sammy and Justine, send them an email letting them know how,
If you want me to send an email to you guys,
do you mind? Okay, cool. That would be great.
sorry.
Well, I totally don't mind doing it, but if you feel like that would, get their attention. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe copy Aaron and Scott and I in on it, so that we're all
I'm gonna do it right now. I got it.
perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
So in the past, we have also like casually thrown out, like, we need new members. Is that still okay to do, or are you guys going through, like, you've been doing like that formal thing for all the other stuff on the town things?
There is a
Is there like a process?
form that I thought that though Sammy and Justine were gonna take care of, but I can revisit that
Okay.
and
that
get that over to you.
Because, yeah, it would be good to hit that up a bit more if we can.
Katie, how did you know that?
I just saw it on the website. I saw you were looking for, actually, no, I don't think it said
I
you
think
were
you
looking.
said you were just like on the, like,
It said vacancies.
thing,
Yeah,
right?
it just said there are vacancies, and so I just emailed and asked.
Yeah, and that seems to
It
be
wasn't
like,
exactly advertised.
most people just kind of stumble upon it. I'm like,
Yeah.
why do we not find?
Would it be okay to advertise, like if I put that on Facebook, or?
That's what I would like.
Well,
Like,
I'll
if that's
email
okay?
over, there's a form that says, your criteria, you have to be 18, you have to live in the town, stuff like that. So, I can email that form over and, I don't see any issue with that.
Yeah, but just as long as they're going through like the formal process.
Right.
So they're not like people being like, Noel, I would like to join.
No, yeah, you're in. Yeah, yeah.
And it says who to
Definitely.
contact, who to call, and I think the last time, it's got my name on it right now, but I don't know if the supervisor's office wants to take, ahead of that.
Yeah. Well, I can at least be like, there are some vacancies. If you'd like to inquire, please reach out to, Shelburne.
Or conservationboard@arundecoit.gov.
Right.
You can
So
always
you- 'cause
use
you get
that.
that, so
You
that's
can
easy
always use
enough.
that, I get that, and I can forward them to you know, my director as well as the supervisor's office, and
Is there a thing online that they would, submit? I mean, because it's gotta be the same thing for any of those positions, right?
correct. So there's, so. Let me close some of this stuff out before I break my computer. Sorry. There is, I think it's under board member recruitment.
I think I'm certainly because that's usually for recruitment, because that's like for younger people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris, is this your last meeting, or do we get one more out of you?
This is it.
This is it. So how many members will be short?
Be down to, 6 members, 3 short. Until you go.
Well, I don't know when I'm leaving yet. It's dependent on when we get the spot at Highlands. So it could be next month, or it could be December. We're at the top of the list.
Yeah.
Lifetime membership or something where you serve for so long.
I don't know, but maybe you should consider having a tree.
Well, you can certainly come whenever you want, but you don't do anything.
Oh, you can still do stuff. We'll just speak for you.
Yeah, that's like, we can review plans, but I can't
Well,
vote.
clearly we
But-
have to reach out as much as we can, because the board's best when it's fully constituted.
Yeah, and I did, after last month's meeting, I did send an email to the supervisor being like, FYI, you and I are both leaving, so you'll still be down, you better pump it up. And I got a thanks, so I'm hoping they're doing something more for recruiting, but
I'll just email this to myself and remind myself to reach out to the supervisor's office on this. So this is usually what we put on, so it's on town letterhead, it says the town
Yep.
of Arundecoit seeks applications for the Arundecoit Conservation Board. Town is currently seeking letters of interest and resumes for members to serve on the Arundecoit Conservation Board. Full members are appointed by the town board for a term of 2 years, criteria to apply. And then it also gives a link to the Chapter 12 Conservation Board Town Code. And currently, as I said, it's got my name and my email on it, but I need to make sure that that's how the supervisor's office path wants to go.
Yeah.
So I will email myself to reach out to them on that and get that out onto the website, as well as shareable on our Facebook page, town's Facebook page, all over. Because I think there's some planning board and zoning board member openings as well coming up, so we're gonna have to do that as well.
Okay. Alrighty. Speaker and film series, we haven't really done anything. Unless anybody's got some ideas.
What is that?
So previously, we had been doing like periodic, guest speakers. That we would have come to the library or here and give presentations. Some were great, some we got no people at all, and we have absolutely no idea what the difference was between some of them. So, we were struggling with the last few, so we were just kind of like, maybe we should nix it and switch to maybe like video things where we would just do like a 2-minute video on Facebook or like a bumper video on iCat or something like that. We didn't really have any great ideas for any, but and nobody's really kind of championed that, so
I dropped the ball.
yeah, you did.
I mean, I still might revisit it, but there was a whole lot of ball dropping.
There was something,
But some of it was mine, like a lot of it.
something
Yeah.
came up there where you couldn't record it.
The Arbor Day, that's what we were gonna
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
kick it
you
off
couldn't
with the
make it,
Arbor
so-
Day, and then you couldn't make
And then all
it.
of a sudden there was no
and then we were all like,
Said that got lost.
yeah.
But we should revisit all these good things someday, but I mean, my 2 cents right now is maybe we should try to get the board
Yeah,
capacity,
back together,
you know,
yeah.
to a functioning level before we try to do extracurricular activities. Yeah. My thoughts.
What about like an Instagram reel?
Yeah.
We could like take pictures of, I don't know, gardens or trees or something around town.
And
A reel.
anything, again, you're talking to a bunch of people who don't know anything about Facebook and Instagram. But anything on the Facebook and Instagram stuff, that's Noelle's, and you can pretty much do whatever. So if you have content information, you see whatever, just let her know and she can kind of go with it. It's just kind of like the more in-depth, or I don't even want to say like in-depth, just the slightly more involved stuff is what we were trying to,
In the past, we had
Good.
speakers come and talk about, well, the Monroe County Solid Waste Program. We had people
yeah,
from
the
the
tree one would be
DEC
good,
come.
the invasive species was good, and then like, but then some of them were just like, this seems like everybody would like this, and then nobody would come, and we're like, I don't know what the deal was. But we'd had, we have a handful, and a handful might be like an excessive term for the number of videos that we have made in the past, but there have been, like, there's one for, cleaning out your storm drains after the leaf event, and there's something else about stormwater in there too. But stuff like that, if we just had a 2-minute video of, I don't know, I was originally writing a script for like how to take care of your tree, and then I got sidetracked and didn't do anything else with it. But stuff like that, or here's a birdhouse and what do you do with it, or here's my recycling, let's take it to the shredding event. Anything like that, that's totally game for.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that. I've never made a reel before. However, we can do it for, the electronics recycling event, and maybe just like
Right.
take some footage and see what we can do with it.
I may or may not already have electronics.
You could stage a re-drop off and drop off their stuff. Yeah, so like any ideas related to that stuff is more than fine. I mean, there's several, we have like the 2 rain gardens, if you wanted to do something
Yeah.
like that, or maybe talking about like, because Colorado Green's been doing what up at the cemetery? They've been planting stuff.
yeah.
So that's an option of like, take some photos of that and tag them in it, because they share like mad, so they would be able to boost some of that stuff. I'm trying to think random other things.
Could contact Don Mocker and try to set something up the next time
At
they
the
have an event
cemetery.
over there. I mean, would you guys know about when they do that? Perfect.
Yeah. I think. But yeah, feel free, come up with ideas. Bounce them around, share 'em.
This really is your last meeting.
Yes, it is.
That's crazy.
Yes, it is. Okay. Deer Management Program Board, I think I shared last time that we met couple months ago. So nothing new since then, and so that's a good thing. EMC is,
Before you go on, just a reminder that, per the town code, since Krista is leaving,
well, I was gonna bring that up down in here.
oh,
But that will be, whoever takes this wonderful position is
It-
also the chair of the Deer Management Program Board. So that is an exciting add-on to your responsibilities. It'll be fun. It's not that bad. Just,
Steve has something to do with
I
it.
know, I was gonna say.
I'm pretty sure would have to recuse himself because he's a hunter in the program. So there is a, or their designee type thing, I think, in the code, so. But I also think he adamantly refused to be the chairperson, so that also resolves itself. Okay, so EMC, Noelle, you're doing EMC?
Oh, they didn't have it.
They're still on vacation,
They don't do the summer. Yeah.
but you're still okay to go when
Yeah.
they start up?
Yeah, definitely.
And they start up this month, maybe? Next month? September?
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I can take over that.
Okay. So RAC is also on vacation?
Yeah, the first meeting will be next Thursday.
Okay, cool. Liaison report. Anything super exciting? I will say your comment about the backyard, when we had when we had that, planning stuff, that was one of those things that we brought up. Had requested there be some sort of interpretive signage, educational opportunities, upfront stormwater stuff, so
Yeah.
Yes.
that would be good to
Yes.
follow up and make sure that
Yeah, we'll
goes.
work on that.
Garden, something like that.
Yeah, we wanna do some stuff like that. We are doing, so yeah, final grade and seed will be happening probably next week or so. So that's when we'll come through and start getting signs for those too. Preemptively made the signs on that say it's, 6 laps is a mile on sidewalk.
It's like I paced it out.
Yeah, anything else, yeah, for sure. We, you know, and obviously it's a work in progress with what it is now. We're still working for the master plan, so we're hoping to get some more details.
Yeah. I mean, if it's gonna be slightly, did you still have the bluebird houses? Any of those?
Scott put them up in the cemetery.
Oh, okay. I was just like, cause now it'll be kind of open, right? For parts of it, but if you're done with them, then. Okay.
I could make more.
Yeah, the backyard is, the berm, finishing all that off, the trees, the paving, so we're hoping that the whole thing is done. Like, October.
Cool.
And then they came to spin where, if you go down there now, you'll see that they're framing the new bathroom. They're working through the site plan for, we're gonna build a new cabin where the old restroom used to be down there. And, yeah, that's what we're looking for right now.
Okay. So planning and zoning, we had nothing last month. So this month, Noelle, you're up. But Jack, you're gonna help cover?
I'll go along.
Cool. Okay. Just for your record, okay, October was going to be me, but I feel like I switched with someone.
Yeah, you were gonna switch with me, but then there was nothing to go to in August, so I don't know if I get off of that.
Who do you have for November?
Jack, and December was Aaron.
So I'll do October. Because we did agree to switch last meeting. Even though you didn't have to do anything.
Even though there was nothing to do. That's fine. That was a good switch. Yeah, I'm like, I feel like, I don't know. All right, so what did I just say? October
Dan.
is gonna be Dan.
When am I?
November.
November is Jack. December is Aaron. Okay.
It should be planning board.
Yeah, we don't go to zoning. Well, yeah, we don't do that. Okay, so.
You could.
And you're gonna send us a PDF of the documents?
Yes, I have that in here.
Okay.
Email PDFs to CB.
Okay.
Highlight.
So, for your benefit, we write response letters. Jack is currently the recording secretary, so generally he writes them, but that's probably something that we should discuss as well.
You especially wanted to look at it in detail.
Yeah.
So,
So we usually do it via email. So we'll review plan sets, email if they have any sort of comments or anything. Jack usually starts to draft a letter, here's the concerns, we want to do this, and then we kind of hash it out a little bit over email, and then if you're good, say, I'm done, we're good, but we need everybody to reply to say, we're good, it's counting as our vote.
Gotcha.
So, we
because
try.
it has to go to Michelle, so it goes to the planning board before the workshop.
Yeah, so particularly after meetings, when we review these plans, try to stay on your email as we'll try to get it done as much as possible.
And then, so do you guys go to the workshop and to the full meeting for the planning board?
Yes, so the workshop is,
If we've written a
if we
letter.
have something, well, yeah, if we have something going on that month.
Okay.
But the workshop is, it's the more informal meeting where we can sit at the table and talk through and they'll ask our opinions and whatever. And then the actual meeting is typically in the back and just wait. And then if there's some sort of comment that they ask, like they'll usually read the letter that we've gotten. And if they'll say like, do you want to come up and address some of these comments? Or usually there's not a lot, but,
Okay.
sometimes there's a specific thing that they'll be like, can you share your opinions or,
Oh,
tell us what you think about this. And if you don't know, then just say, I don't know, but I can ask the board and we can get back to you on that.
yeah, it's pretty on the spot.
Yeah, well, because usually it's like, they're just looking for, like I feel like most of the time the questions that they ask are, they know the answer that they want. They're just looking for us to reiterate it and be like, okay, you guys asked for 12 new trees. Is that what you want? And you're like, yes, we looked at it and we decided that we wanted 12 new trees. And we would like native trees, follow the landscape guidelines. It's like standard stuff, but they just want us to kind of reiterate that.
Okay.
Occasionally there's like a technical question, like, is that an invasive plant? And most of the time I'm just kind of like on my phone, like, yes, it looks like they say that it's an invasive plant, so let's recommend a different one or something. Or, I don't know, but we'll get back to you and look it up,
Okay.
and something like that. It's infrequent that there's like a specific, like, hard deadline question that needs to be answered from our perspective right then and there. But, and that's where, when it comes around, we usually, in January, we'll go through and like sign up for a month through the year. When it comes to your first one, somebody else can probably go with you just to make
Okay.
sure that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, could I just like tag along one of these fall months?
You can go to any meeting that you
Okay.
want, yes. They're open, so yeah, if you wanna go, like, obviously October's gonna have something, so that's probably a good one to, this month,
September. Okay.
yeah, it's where they're gonna discuss this, so that's probably a good one to go to and just kinda
Okay.
see what
Yeah, maybe I'll go to.
what they're
September.
doing.
So if there isn't anything that we are writing a letter on, do we still attend the?
If you
full
want
meeting?
to, I mean, sometimes it kind of like is, if your preference, if there's nothing really going on, like, probably going to the workshop is good, just to see if there's something that they wanna talk about.
Okay.
But if it's, like, Michelle will send out the list, and if it's like a bunch of signs and things like that, like, it's super boring, so
Okay.
don't. But if it's something where you're like, oh, that could have some sort of question that they're gonna come up with, like, it's a development, maybe they wanna talk to us about trees or things like that, but, technically, we don't have say unless they ask
Right.
for us on those, so.
Okay.
But if they don't ask for anything at the workshop, then you probably don't need to go to the actual meeting, because they won't ask for more info.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it's also good probably just to go and be like, hi, I'm the new person, because they kind of can recognize everybody.
Oh.
and know that, okay, you're the person who's representing this month, and
Right, okay.
that's who's coming.
Yeah, maybe I'll just tag along to the September ones. So it's Noel and Jack going, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else that needs to be said besides from our normal stuff? Okay, so, for those of you who were not here last month, I'm moving, so this is my last meeting, and you guys get to pick a new chair, so good luck.
Right now?
I'll vote for Steve because he's not here.
Yeah, he said he wouldn't do it when he was here last month. Jack, would you consider doing it temporarily?
Well, I've
Since you're
done
the
it
one with the
already,
most experience.
so I feel I did my duty.
Oh,
And we have no idea when, how long I'll be here. It could be, minimum, I'll be here 3 more times. But it could be more than that. I'd rather not. I got a lot of stuff on my plate right now.
I guess I won't nominate Jack.
I'll nominate Dan.
Geez, I guess I'm the most senior person left. It didn't make any sense. I've only been here a couple of years. I'm not very good with the computer, but
Honestly, okay, so your tasks include sending out an email to remind everybody to come,
that I
which
can-
I frequently forget to do. So, it's not a crucial thing,
that
but
this
it
week
is.
So that part's done.
Then check. You got that one. So, obviously, you run through the agenda, not super difficult.
Yeah, I've done that once before.
Yep. If Michelle's not here, you're going to get well, that's not necessarily true. I do it just because, but you could designate to somebody else that they're responsible for making the minutes. So, that's an option.
The feel of power.
I'm trying to think, what else do we do? So, there's the Deer Program Management Board.
Now, just to let you know, I mean, I've never hunted in my life. Does that matter?
They actually the people who are against it would probably prefer that. So currently,
Oh, I thought
like,
that was one of the criteria. Is you can't
well,
be on that.
you can't be in the program.
That's what it is.
So, so currently, it's me, who I don't hunt either, and, the town representative, who I don't even know who that guy was.
Supervisor or their
Supervisors.
designee, conservation board chair or designee.
Cody, I don't know what he does.
Not Cody, did
Yeah,
you?
yeah,
Really?
yeah, they fixed it.
He's the supervisor's designee.
Yeah, I'm worried.
And then we have a resident, Gwendolyn,
And she specifically has to be a
non-hunter.
Yeah, are those
So-
meetings here too?
Yes, and it's like once a year
If at that.
sometimes. Cause it's just if somebody,
That's an issue.
has an issue or appeals. So like the process, and like the code, it's in that town code, it's 3 pages. It's predominantly related to the rules that the hunter's required to follow. But there's, also a section that talks about what properties are eligible. And so you, as a homeowner, can say that I would like to appeal having this property be eligible for hunting. I guess technically ineligible as well, but you have that option. And then the IPD will say, we agree, we don't agree, whatever. And if it gets to that point that we can't agree on it, then it comes to the board. And so then we could kind of go through and look at the thing and be like, I don't know, does it not? What's your issue? What's your problem? And then also any hunters that get booted out of the program, they have the option to appeal their booting out. And we had that once. So, but it's kind of like being a little bit of a judge type thing, so.
Okay.
And the town attorney's here as well.
Yes.
To guide you.
And they will tell you what you cannot do, and,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's just,
You're not the chairperson of the board,
you
are you?
are the chairperson of the board. Which just means you do, like, literally, the attorney writes out a script of what I'm supposed to say. And it's like, you know, okay, stand for the pledge, you know, introduce people, and then, you know, like, you can speak now, you can speak now, you can speak now, okay, motions and done.
Like the process.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Given that, I'd like to move that Dan become the replacement chairman of the Conservation Board.
Does anybody want a second to that?
Second.
Do you accept the nomination? I feel like that's probably a requirement.
I guess so.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Now, there's no conflict because I'm a member of the Recycling Advisory Committee.
No, any of us could be on any of the ad hoc boards.
Okay.
Who seconded it, Aaron?
Aaron did. All those against say nay. Hearing none, sounds like Dan is the new chair. Congratulations. Yeah. But I will say, like, consider amongst the rest of you that Jack will be leaving soon too, and he's the recording secretary, so that position will be open eventually. So,
Recording secretary is basically you write all the letters.
write the letters.
The only hard part of this job is you have to write the annual report,
Oh, good point.
and that requires getting everybody to submit what they think we did.
Yes.
That's the hard part.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal, it's pretty pro forma. If you look at last year's, you can just adjust it slightly.
I have all the old annual reports as well, so whoever becomes the secretary, I can share those as well, and we can start like a form letter.
Yep.
On it.
Yeah. And I think I have sent you all of my documents over the years, but if you need other things or whatever,
August
just let me
meeting
know.
minutes.
August meeting minutes. I will work on the August meeting minutes.
Well, I think we should thank Krista for being a
Yes.
very good chairwoman.
Yes.
Oh, yay. Thank you.
If anybody's up for it, if you're up for it, maybe we should take you out for a quick drink. The Titus Tavern or something like that.
I'm like, I don't care. Whatever. Yeah, no. I'm sad. I mean, I really like this board, but
Come back whenever you want.
they kick you out when you move, so.
Can I ask, are you moving?
I am moving to Avon, which is where I'm originally from, so all my family's down there.
So still close.
Yes, but not in town.
Not,
so. So yeah, they bump you out.
At a P.O. box or.
Secondary residence. I'm like, I don't think that counts.
Politicians do that.
Like, yeah. Yeah.
Given that, I move we adjourn.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye, all those against?
Aye.
Sounds like none, so. This is Jack.
Is this TV thing permanent, or is this a special deal?